What a super wild card weekend we have had so far. Upsets to the left, upsets to the right, and we got teams that are showing that they are them. Packers beat down the Dallas Cowboys. The Chiefs win. Cleveland Browns win. And another team, yeah, the Detroit Lions win too. Oh, but we got to talk about that, but much more. But first.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, you have to own up to your bets. You have to own up that sometimes you just got something wrong. When you see this live video, you will see a cheesehead on my head. You will see a Brett Favre's jersey on my back. The Green Bay Packers beat down the Dallas Cowboys last night. Now, I made a very trollish post just saying that they held on because, they had to put their starters back in with 6 minutes left in the game. But in the end, guys, I've been talking about the Green Bay Packers pretty much the same all season long. They're either going to be really good or really, 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 really bad. I was talking 3-14 or 12-5 type of record. There was not going to be no mediocre point. I've been definitely clearly wrong on their record, but right now, guys, the Green Bay Packers are playing at a 12-5 team record right now. The Green Bay Packers are playing at a very, very good record right now. They went down into AT&T Stadium, Jerry World, the check bounced, and the referee said, you know what, we're going to have to call this game fair. We're going to have to call the game fair. But the Green Bay Packers did win. Go, Pack, go. Time to turn over that new leaf, I reckon. I guess. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Be sure to go to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. And last night, guys, I put a watch live football games there. So if you guys ever want to watch a live football game, from this point on, we will have all the games streaming from our website. No more Discord because it's just been laggy inside. I don't like it. We're going to the website. We're streaming it directly to the website. So, guys, if you guys want to watch any game whatsoever, I'll have NFL signed and take it up on the website moving forward, and you guys can watch any game that you want. But I am eating some crow this morning, and people are letting me hear it. My man Carson says, how about them Cowboys? Carson, didn't you text me, I don't know, about 10 minutes into the game and said, are you okay or something? And that's like at that point it was like 20-0. I'm like, there's still time. There's still time, Carson. But yeah, how about them Cowboys? Packers won a thriller last night. They beat down the Dallas Cowboys. John Peoples in the chat says, good morning, freaks. What's up, John? You clown boy, you. And Jim says, I ain't going to say it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, says John. But he's going to say it. How about them Cowboys? We also got Katie in the chat. He says, how about them Chiefs? Yeah, the Chiefs came out and whooped that ass. Yes, they did. Caroline says, how about them Lions? Man, Hoffy, were you expecting the Lions to win last night the way they did, 24-23 over the Rams?
No, but I think the refs gave him a little little makeup call from that Dallas game by not calling that PI at the end of the game there.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right.
Come on, Buck. Tell me the arm wasn't wrapped around the body. There wasn't an absolute tug on the jersey.
I see nothing. Go, Pack, go.
Of course.
Go, Pack, go. I see nothing. But, Hoffy, I didn't give you a proper introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me welcome the win, the myth, the legend, the peanut butter, my lady, John Hoffman. Hoffy, what's up?
What up, Mucko Buckheister? What up, Man Hour Nation? I think we're both eating crow. I don't think we did so hot with our picks this weekend.
Yeah, Hoffy, to be honest, I think the only pick we got right was the Kansas City Chiefs. Because we both picked the Cowboys, we both picked the Rams, we both picked the Browns. So the NFL experts, you know, they're like, let's be strategic about this. Let's split all our picks and we can get a win every time. But we're like, go big or go home, motherfuckers. Suck our dicks. No, you can't say that. Jim says red and green go well together. Yeah, ho, ho, ho. I didn't even realize that. Patriots and when, jeez. Yeah, keep talking. I should probably put on the blue. I got Adrian Hutchinson jersey that I'm supposed to wear sometime this week as well. But Jim says Eminem asked Stafford for a favor, and the Lions got the dub. First of all, wasn't that like one of the most cringiest freaking videos? So, Hoffy, did you see that video where it was like Eminem was like basically asking Matthew Stafford for like a favor? Oh, I was with you through thick and thin, you know, just give me this one deed, man, and go, lose this game for it. Like, that was the most cringiest, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Eminem, MGK still won that rap battle. Caroline says, how about them Texans, baby? Hoffy, how about them Texans, man?
How about them?
Obviously neither of us saw the Cleveland Browns shitting the bed the way they did, but the way the Cleveland Browns quit on themselves at the end of the quarter, or at the end of the game, Hoffy, did CJ Stroud jump onto the map to you like, hey, CJ Stroud is the man now? Like, is he a top 5 quarterback in the league after that victory?
I mean, we kind of talked about him already being there all year, but, you know, playoffs are a new beast, but we also discussed that he's been playing at the Ohio State University with crowds that are bigger and, you know, louder, crowd noise louder than he's, than it's going to be in the NFL. We did also discuss that the Browns defense, going away was, the last ranked defense, but, it just was tough not to pick the Browns with how they had been playing. Especially of late. Joe Flacco was doing well. We kind of, again, discussed, like, is Joe Cool going to be there? Or is he going to have some turnovers, which he did have some turnovers. We both picked the Browns, but I was actually rooting for the Texans. I just didn't think they were going to get it done. But I'm glad that I'm glad to eat crow on this one, and I'm glad to eat crow on the Green Bay Packers-Cowboys game. Another one where I was rooting for the Packers, but thought the Cowboys were just going to be able to flex on them.
Come on, man. Don't be hedging those bets. You wanted the Cowboys to win because you know damn well that you wanted a Cowboys versus 49ers rematch and you want to watch the Cowboys whoop that ass. But with that being said, guys, like I said, one of the key to the victories to the Texans was let Joe right, and Joe Flacco threw 2 pick sixes back to back. And that was pretty much the sealer of that game, 100%. So, unfortunately, Cleveland Browns fans, you guys are a one and done. But my man Ant is in the chat. He is ready for his next week divisional round game. He says, how about them Cowboys? Do you remember when you had him at number 1 in the power rankings? Hoffy, I've been hearing it all day, man. All night, all day.
You're going to hear it.
I'm going to hear it. And you know what, guys? Let me tell you this, Hoffy. San Francisco 49ers fans, you guys are lucky that the Green Bay Packers beat the Dallas Cowboys. You are lucky that they beat the Dallas Cowboys because you did not want that smoke. I'm telling you, you guys did not want that smoke. I know time after time again, 41-10, week 5, baby, put it on the calendar. The 49ers are going to win. Well, guess what? This year, you don't get an opportunity to play us in the playoffs. Lucky for you guys, because if the Dallas Cowboys were to beat the Green Bay Packers last weekend in the Super Wild Card weekend, the Dallas Cowboys were coming for those throats in the championship game. They was coming. Detroit Lions fans, you guys are lucky that they lost, because the Dallas Cowboys, they were coming. Hoffy,
They were not.
they were coming.
nowhere. They were not.
Why weren't they coming? One win is contagious, Hoffy. The ball starts to rolling down the hill, and
Because they're not. They wouldn't be playing at home. They're gonna go back to Santa Clara where they got their asses
Okay,
clapped.
pause.
41 to what? 10.
okay,
It
Mr.
probably
Week
would not have
5.
been 41 to 10. But there is no way in hell they were going into Santa Clara and winning that game.
You are right, because they wouldn't have to, because they were going to whoop the Detroit Lions game asses at home, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and or Eagles were going to go into Santa Clara and handle our light work.
Yeah, well, I think my 3 keys to the Packers winning were run the football with Aaron Jones, what he finished up with 3 touchdowns.
I'm pretty sure he's still running the rock
3
untouched.
touchdowns, 118 yards. Forced Dak into mistakes. He made 2 interceptions.
Chairs is all fucked.
You limited Parsons as well. So all 3 keys were hit on. So
I'm
I'll take
pretty
that
sure
one.
they're still holding Micah Parsons too, but we digress from that. John says, here we go. Dak's last words.
My friend works at the Boston Logan Airport here.
Yeah.
And he said that he saw Bill Belichick getting on a plane to Dallas, Texas this morning.
Really? You're totally pulling that out of your ass. But that comes to our first question that I have, Hoffy. Mike McCarty has had 3 seasons back to back to back at 12-5. Mike McCarty has been 3 seasons, they've been early playoff exits. Mike McCarty has kind of never been maybe 100% the guy in Dallas. So let me ask you this, Hoffy. First question of the day, and then we got a lot of comments to get to here. But is Mike McCarty on the hot seat moving forward for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes, and I think that's only because of the fact that just look at the coaches that are out there right now. I don't know that you can necessarily. There's Mike Vrabel, there's Bill Belichick. I think you could potentially, pry away Pete Carroll. He did seem like he was not wanting to, take that advisory role. Seemed like he still wanted to coach. And heck, I know that Dan Quinn's defense did not show up yesterday, but I could even see them getting rid of McCarthy and upgrading Dan Quinn, because it seems like the players absolutely adore him as well. So, yes, I think Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat.
Yeah, first things first, Dan Quinn better have his freaking bags packed and go to Seattle or Tennessee or wherever he thought he was going to go as a head coach, because that defense against the Green Bay Packers is absolutely pitiful. It was like a knife, like a hot knife going through butter, that defense a whole first half. It was absolutely ridiculous. But when we look at Mike McCarty moving forward, many teams would kill to have 12 wins in a season. Right, Raiders fans? Right, Jets fans? Right, Chargers fans? But to have 3 12-win seasons in a row, many teams would kill to even have that sustained success. But we are living in the world of Jerry Jones. We are living in the world where it's basically Super Bowl or bust. And right now, that Super Bowl window for the Dallas Cowboys is closing very, very quickly, because CeeDee Lamb is going to want to get his money. Micah Parsons is going to want to get his money. Tony Pollard, he's probably going to get paid. Let's just be honest. Dak Prescott, I believe he is on his final year of his contract next season. So that Super Bowl window for the Dallas Cowboys is very, very rapidly closing. So in the mindset of a Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Dallas Cowboys nation in general, they are looking at next year is Super Bowl or bust, because we're going to literally have to blow up this team from the inside out. And why not bring in an old coach, an OG, somebody that is going to come in there and instantly deem respect, instantly change the culture, instantly do what it takes to get to the Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl. And you were joking about it, but Bill Belichick is a free agent. Pete Carroll is a free agent. They are Mike Vrabel is a free agent. It would not surprise me one bit, Hoffy, if Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy are having a conversation right now. Let the wounds heal from last night heal a little bit. Wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning here in Central Daylight Time and have a nice, healthy conversation. Said, what are you going to do to get us to the championship? What are you going to do to fix Dak Prescott's playoff woes? What are you going to do to make this defense not suck in the playoffs? Mike McCarthy, if he wants to save his job at all, one thing he needs to do is say, I'm going to fire Dan Quinn, get that Cracker Jack out of here, and I'm going to take a step back, and I want to be an offensive coordinator, and you can bring in my man Bill Belichick. You were joking about Offie, but Bill Belichick to the Dallas Cowboys instantly puts them up there. There is no question in my mind.
I was not joking. My only question, though, is, Bill Belichick is probably going to want some say, or I don't see Bill Belichick wanting to coach for an owner like Jerry Jones that kind of makes this a me mentality. I'm doing the grocery shopping. I'm telling you what to cook. You're just my, personal chef. So I think that if he is willing to relinquish some of that, some of the GM duties, maybe it's a mutual GM, maybe that can be done. But I do think that, this Dallas Cowboys team would be a different team under, Bill Belichick.
Well, just to add to your point there, and I see my man Beastie in the chat as well, that little Jew boy, but we digress from that. Jerry Jones has taken a few steps back in the recent years, right? Ever since Mike McCarthy has been hired, Stephen Jones has been taking a more active GM role, being that draft day guy. Because let's just be honest, the last, 8-9 years, the Dallas Cowboys have done really, really well in the draft. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Vander Esch, right? Dak Prescott even. They've had a really, really good draft. It's just they have not had the, how do you say it, camaraderie? It seems like something just isn't quite cooking correctly. Whether the eggs are getting burnt, whether you forget to add sugar in your sweet tea, something is lacking in Dallas. And I think a Bill Belichick can do that. Possibly, hell, you can probably even put Pete Carroll in there, but I think Pete Carroll is too much of a rah-rah, go get him, everybody like me type of guy. The Dallas Cowboys need to, hammer it home. They need somebody. How about this? Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin comes to town, Hoffy. Dallas Cowboys are instant Super Bowl favorites yet again. What do you think about that, Mike Tomlin coming to Dallas?
I wouldn't disagree with that one either. I think that would be a hell of a hire. I've heard some rumblings of Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is technically a free agent right now, right? Wasn't this the last?
Yeah, so as soon as the Pittsburgh Steelers season is over, his contract is officially up. So, yes, he is.
Yeah, I've heard he wants to kind of talk to the family, maybe take a year off. But I could see instead of taking a year off, going to Dallas and kind of, replenishing that juice factor. New wind, new life. So, yeah, I could see. I think that would be a good hire as well. I think the best hire would be Bill Belichick. I just don't see Bill Belichick and Jerry Jones, seeing eye to eye.
Listen, we all thought that about Barry Switzer and Jimmy Jones, Jimmy Johnson. I'm sorry, and they both won Super Bowl there. So anybody can coexist for a couple years. Winning cures all. Even Jim Harbaugh could survive in Dallas if they were going to win. But let's go ahead and jump into the comments here, and people are pretty much spot on thinking that Mike McCarthy is out. Caroline says McCarthy is gone, going to be fired. I would fire him instantly, she says. Why would you fire him, though? The last 3 seasons, they have been 12-5. They go to the playoffs. 12-5 is a tough feat in the regular season, right, Raiders fans? Jim, John, I know where you guys are at. Beastie's in the chat. He says Mike McCarthy is gone. He's a terrible coach, and Dallas doesn't stand for one and done. He should come to Chicago. He'd be a lifer he would be a lifer for getting them into the playoffs every year. Listen, Combsy, I don't think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in their glory days could come to Chicago and be successful. Chicago is meant to be cursed over and over and over again. It is what it is. Papa's in the chat. He says, Mike is gone. See you, bye. Mike McCarty. Hoffy, do you see that man's beard? Look at that man's beard. That is the man's beard. Like, one day I hope to have a good beard like my dad. It's just never going to happen. I have the natural white trash look. So, it is what it is. And says, Mike McCarty.
More than the goatee, so.
What's that?
I can't do anything more than the goatee. I can't get nothing on the little bottom cheeks.
It's okay, Joe Dirt. And says McCarty lost to an inexperienced team and a team that he used to coach for. Of course, he's on the hot seat. So, and we have been talking a lot about the Green Bay Packers' inexperience, right? But we failed to realize that they still had a head coach that has gone to, Hoffy, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 NFC Championships games in the last, 4 years, right? I mean, Matt LaFleur and Aaron Jones are basically the bread and butter to this team. They have the experience, and, it is what it is. John said it's slammed shut from the Cheeseheads. What the hell is slammed shut? The door, obviously the proverbial door is slammed shut, but what is he talking about, Hoffy? Any idea?
His coaching on Mike McCarthy's coaching life in Dallas, at least.
Combsy says this guy with the Packers jersey, he had like four of his teams playing this weekend. I did have the Chiefs and the Cowboys. I was not rooting for the Packers. I was not rooting for whatever other team you want. I wore this jersey because I lost the bet, and I got to wear a Lions jersey probably sometime this week as well. Carson Lang says Pete Carroll threw it on 1st and goal with beast mode in the backfield to earn his spot as a Super Bowl MVP for the Patriots. Don't nobody want that clown as their coach. Ooh, shots fired.
I think him and Jerry Jones would be a fun show to watch.
Because it's like yin and yang, like serious and like play around, and they're both like 80 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Be like Cheech and Chong.
Something like that. It would be probably worse than that. John says Bill and Jerry will butt heads if it won't work. Listen, everybody butts heads if it don't work. The old saying is winning cures all. Comey says Belichick goes to Atlanta because of his relationship with Arthur Smith. He would not mix with Jerry Jones. I've actually heard many people saying that Bill Belichick to Atlanta makes sense. And Hoffy, our guy Wayne G said, instant Super Bowl contenders, right? With Bill Belichick in like Atlanta. Let me throw that question at you. Bill Belichick to Atlanta Super Bowl?
Under their current roster that they have right now, they're the same exact team that the New England Patriots are. They have a running back in Ramondre Stevens and Ezekiel Elliott. You have Jean Robinson over there in Atlanta. You have, Hunter Henry as the tight end here. You got, Pitts over there. Pitts is a better, more all-around tight end. But other than that, their defense is good. The Patriots had a top 10 defense, and that was with, a lot of their injuries. Judon, Gonzalez, potential defensive rookie of the year. But the one thing that they absolutely have in common is neither team has a quarterback. So, yes, if you can find yourself a quarterback in Atlanta, sure.
Well, if you listen to Combs, Justin Fields is going to wherever Bill Belichick goes.
Sure. So, then we can discuss it at that point in time. But right now, under Riddler or Heineke, no, they're not even going to. The NFC South was wide open for anybody that wanted it, and nobody wanted it.
Let's just be honest. It was never wide open. It was Tampa Bay Buccaneers division all season long.
It was Tampa Bay. It was then the Saints. It was Atlanta. I mean, it was fumbled away constantly.
Right. All right. So my dad here brings up a great point here, and he says Bill wants 300+ wins. Then he will rest from the NFL. So that makes me kind of perk my ears up ears up like a tad bit. Hoffy, I think Bill Belichick is what, like 18 wins away from what's his face's all-time winning record.
Yeah.
So obviously it's going to probably take 2 seasons to get that. So what team is built for 2 seasons to win right now? The Dallas Cowboys. I mean, it makes sense, right? It just makes a lot of sense. John Cunningham is in the chat. He's like, and he says, "Man hour, good old one. Rams got their fair share of no calls as well." So Hoffy, I believe he is referring to your comment about the no PI comment in the end zone. Do you want to address this comment that the Rams got their fair share of no calls as
I'm not referring to the one in the end. I'm referring like the very last play of the game when they went for it on 4th down and the turnover, on downs or whatever it was. But I understand that the officiating has been crap, but at the end of the game on a play like that, that's something that you can't really do. But I mean, there was bad calls. I'm not saying that was the reason why they lost, because they still would have had to go down and kick a field goal, score. I mean, they hurt themselves by, they were in field goal range. They had the holding call that backed them up out of field. I mean, so they beat themselves as well. I mean, but I just feel like that was a call that was kind of clear and should have been made, especially at the end of the game. But I'm not crying, foul over. I just thought that was a big play that was missed. And I feel, yes, there's going to be plays that are missed throughout the game, but at the end of the game, something like that's that can't necessarily be made.
And so with that being said, Combsy jumps back into the chat here. Like he says, just like the Packers' first INT, there was no call on defensive holding. Officiating has been terrible league-wide. They can no longer be a reason for a team losing. So I actually thought that the officiating this weekend was pretty much balanced across the they were letting them play, right? They were not trying to let the officiating dictate the outcome of the game. Now, would that first Packers interception that they got, if it was called defensive holding, would it have changed the outcome of the game? Who knows what that was like in the first quarter, I think, when Dak threw his first interception. But Hoffy, how do you think the officiating went this last 4 games that we saw? I thought it was pretty even.
I thought it was pretty even, and I just said on that one call in the Rams Lions game, I thought that should have been called. I'm not saying egregious. I understand it wasn't called, and I can understand why they wouldn't call it per se. I just thought that was one that should have been made, and and whatnot. But I'll ask you, I guess, as a Cowboys fan, I thought that the play by Alexander, I thought they were both him and the wide receiver were just kind of battling and fighting for the ball, and I didn't really think it was per se pass interference. How did you feel about that?
I mean, it was definitely not pass interference. If anything, it would have been offensive pass interference, because the defensive player has just as much as right as the offensive player does. And Jair definitely jumped that route, definitely ripped it away from, I don't even remember who he ripped away. Was it ripped away from CD? I'm not for sure. But Jair had it was just a great play. Let them play 100%. I don't think it was a bad call at all, or a bad.
And there was a couple calls in the Lions Rams game where I think it was mostly the Rams players getting up looking for the pass interference. But it like you said, the defensive player has just as much right. There was that one time where he jumped up to try and make the interception. And looking for the foul.
Right.
I'm glad that those weren't called. Personally, but.
And
some people thought that should have been called, but no, I thought the refs did a good job of letting them play.
Combs said he's not right about Chicago, about having Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in their prime, and they would still suck. That is one thing I like about Combs, is he is a realist about his Bears and realize that they will never go to another Super Bowl as long as Virginia McCaskey is the owner. John says Haterade's a little salty today, Buck. I don't put salt in my Haterade. I am pure hatred all across the board. I don't know what I'm looking for there. Moving on. Caroline says Rob Gongrassi yesterday said that the word on the street is that Bill Belichick is going to the Falcons. That is what we are hearing across the board a lot. Paul says, dude, you should be embarrassed after saying Dallas was going to win easy against the Packers. Your predictions are terrible. First of all, Paul, use the correct grammar if you were going to try to dog us here on the Man Hour. It's you are, so Y-O-U''R-E. Secondly, if anybody got perfect picks this weekend, they are full of shit. Hoffy, yes, I know that. Nope, Wayne G and Mark D, the NFL experts, didn't pick the Browns to lose to the Texans. Hoffy did people have the Rams beating the Lions? Yeah, all three of us did, except for Wayne G, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, this was a bad week for picks across the board. It was upsets, right? Now, did we overlook the Texans? I certainly did. I thought the Houston Texans were just happy by just being to the playoffs. I thought they hit their proverbial wall, right? You know, we're going on week 19 now of the NFL season. I figured CJ Stroud and Will Anderson and the rest of the guys are going to be tired. I thought the experience of the Cleveland Browns playing a full NFL season would be a little bit more in their favor. Same thing with the Detroit Lions. I thought they were going to be well overhyped going into that game. We used so much energy in the first part of the game that they would be tired in that game, i.e. week 2 versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, we did have the Chiefs getting the dub over the Miami. I think the Chiefs are... What's that?
Fucking pardon my French, Mr. Peebles, he was perfect in his playoff predictions.
No, he wasn't. Get him out of here.
Your house expert was perfect.
Get out of here.
What I want to know is where's our friend Mikey, the dude that was coming at me on the freaking live stream, you know, because I was supposedly a Cowboy lover and all I did was, you know, love on the, you know, how dare you be a 49ers fan or have 49ers stuff on your Facebook, but all you do is suck the cocks of Cowboys. I'm like, I think he had me and you confused. Never once have you heard me say that I'm a Cowboys fan. I absolutely hate them girls.
Yeah, so Katie says 2 days before my birthday is going to be a vibe. A happy birthday, Katie. Combs says, Paul, that's why he's wearing their jersey. Yeah, listen, I got the pick wrong. Huffy, you got the pick wrong. Everybody gets picks wrong, Paul. Shut up your candy ass because we don't care. Well, we do care. Because I wear this freaking
anybody at home can be undefeated when they don't have to put their picks on the internet. Brandon Combs.
Caroline says mine were all right, but the Cowboys.
You're gonna be 4-2 after today, picking the Steelers and the Bucks. You freaking redheaded clown.
Yeah, get out of here. Go get my car keys. Carson says I was only wrong about the Browns. I think I would have to say safely that 90% of the population was rooting for the Texans, but they knew deep down, like Hoffy did, that the Browns were probably going to win this game. So, yeah, just like Hoffy said, it is easy to say, "Oh, I've been on the Texans bandwagon all season long," right, Richard? I've seen you in my inbox, Richard. Oh, Hoffy. This is what's awesome about our toxic fan base. I absolutely love our toxic fan base 100%, but I got called a racist. That's right, a racist because I picked the Browns to beat the Texans. I got them a racist because I picked the Browns to beat the Texans because I didn't love CJ Stroud. I was going for the white quarterback.
You should have listened to Combs. CJ Stroud is the real deal. He is the one and only good quarterback out of this 2023 NFL draft. I mean, Brandon Combs is him.
Yeah, he's him.
All caps.
Oh, I see that. He is 4-0 in the Steelers and Bucks today. Let's talk about the Steelers and Bucks. Hoffy. This game has been pushed back until, a big full day. And now it could potentially be pushed back till Tuesday still, depending on when this next snowstorms hits. Are you wanting, because I believe we both picked the Bills to win this game, are you wanting to change your pick now that the game has an extra day to prepare? TJ Watt can now possibly be on the field. Are you wanting to change your pick at all? Nope. Sticking with the Bills?
Bills Mafia, baby.
Listen, Bills Mafia is clicking right now. Now, I said they peaked. They're not going to get any better. I'm sticking by that, Hoffy. I said that they peaked. But at the same time, that doesn't mean the Steelers are going to be probably beating Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to say, "Hold my beer. Let's let that thing freeze." Combs says, "I can vouch for people." He texted me before each game with his picks. Okay, touche. That a kid, says Carson. Bills Mafia. So there are three things, Hoffy, in this NFL world that really just piss me off, right? It's bang, bang, Niners gang. Absolutely the stupidest thing ever, right? Go Pack Go. Cool, right? Carolina Panthers keep pounding for whatever reason, right? And then the Pittsburgh Steelers hashtag, here we go. Like, what? Like, it cannot be like Steelers Nation or
Here we go.
like Black Pride. I know Black Pride is probably the one thing you don't want to say. But like, here we go. Like, that is the stupidest hashtag ever. But let me ask you this, Hoffy. What is the best hashtag in the NFL right now, or like the saying in general?
I like the dog pound.
They don't even have the dog pound anymore. It's just hashtag Browns now. Me and the Raiders had the black hole, then they decided to move from Oakland. You know what the best saying in football is right now, Hoffy?
What's that?
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not
Jo-
even how about them Cowboys.
How about them
Pretty sure
Cowboys?
hashtag- No, not doing it.
John
I'm just
says,
pumped that we don't have to hear for at least another 6 months. Okay, here we go.
It's better
That's
than
right up there with Peyton Manning and Omaha.
John says, you heard it here first, Bills and Bucks. That's who I have winning today as well. Hoffy has the Bills and Eagles, actually. And says, I'm kind of hoping that the Steelers do win so my Ravens can get our revenge, basically. Don't be wishing that evil upon you, Ricky Bobby. The Ravens struggle against other AFC North teams in the playoffs. Combsy says, under 40 degrees, Josh Allen averages 140 yards passing. Well, because you don't want to pass when it's underneath 40 degrees. The ball's cold. Alrighty, Hoffy. So we hashed out the Packers and Green Bay, or the Detroit Lions, like enough. But let's talk about the real Super Bowl contending team, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins on super wild card weekend. Rashid Rice was him, set all types of Kansas City Chiefs rookie playoff records in that game. But I've been saying this, Hoffy, all season long, that the Kansas City Chiefs are the most dangerous team in the playoffs because we have yet seen their A game. We have yet seen the Kansas City Chiefs play a complete game from start to finish. We've seen them play really good in spurts for like a quarter and a half, maybe 3 quarters, right? But we haven't seen it for a full game yet. Versus Miami, we finally have the opportunity to basically potentially see what the Kansas City Chiefs could be in playing a full NFL game. So, Hoffy, way or no way, after seeing the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins, speaking of which, where's Arthur Brown? Amber alert, are the Kansas City Chiefs now one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC playoffs?
You kicking that to me?
Yeah, kicking it to you.
Yeah. I've said it, when you have, Patrick Mahomes and, I hate to go back to, the New England dynasty, but there was times where New England did not have, the best offensive weapons per se, but when you have Tom Brady, you can kind of cover up a lot of those holes, and that's something that Mahomes can do as well. And then when you have Pacheco in the backfield, 24 carries, 89 yards, just running the ball, with bad intentions. You got Rice stepping up, Valdez Scantling is probably going to get you maybe 1 or 2 deep routes, whether or not, you connect on those. If you can, then that's going to help. You got Kelsey, but But yeah, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are the most dangerous team in the playoffs, definitely in the AFC. They're right, 1A and 1B with the Ravens. And I only say that because, the Ravens have had some struggles during the playoffs, but I think that the Ravens and the Chiefs are on a collision course to face off in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, so there are a few things that that you said that I disagree with, and I see people in the chat here. Combs, said Chiefs will lose to Houston or the Buffalo Bills next week. Very good possibility. But this is what difference between the Kansas City Chiefs and anybody else. Their floor, meaning the worst that they can play, is still at like a C+ level. Houston, when they suck, they suck. When the Buffalo Bills suck, they suck, right? There is no coming back from that suckiness that comes off of Bills Mafia when they suck. AE, the New England Patriots game, right? And then when you look at their ceilings, obviously I think the Buffalo Bills ceiling is a hell of a lot higher than the Kansas City Chiefs ceiling. As a Chiefs fan, I think the Buffalo Bills, when they play a perfect game and the Chiefs play a perfect game, the Buffalo Bills are just a little bit better. Actually, they're a lot better than the Kansas City Chiefs right now. The Houston Texans, when they play at their peak performers, they are probably better than the Kansas City Chiefs right now. But what makes a team a good team, a dangerous team, is the consistency, is having that low or having that high floor and low ceiling. So you know what you're going to get when you get on that field. I think last weekend when the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins at home, they understood, they are starting to understand, hey, this is easy. We've been doing this our whole lives. This is easy. They were playing the swag thing, right? And people are all making fun of Taylor Swift and Peacock for putting it on in the fourth quarter when they're doing the thing, right? Well, Peacock went commercial free fourth quarter, so they had to have filler. But I do think, Hoffy, that the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the most, actually the dangerous team in the AFC. Teams do not want to play the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills do not want that smoke. Houston Texans definitely don't want that smoke. Ravens, you probably don't want that smoke either. But we do got to get into the chat here. And Caroline says there's nothing wrong with Omaha. There's nothing wrong with Omaha besides the Cornhuskers. Get that crap out of here. Carson Lang said Chiefs aren't getting to the AFC Championship game. You have seen their A game, and it comes with a lot of drops. True. But did you know, Carson or Hoffy or people out there in general, actually read a stat that the Houston Texans, the Raiders, and the Chargers have more drops than the Kansas City Chiefs this season. So how do you feel about that?
Combined?
No. Like the Chiefs are only ranked 4th for drops this season. Texans are up there. Raiders are up there. And I want to say Chargers, but I don't think it was the Chargers, but there's another team that was up there. Jameson. What's up, Jameson, my man? Resident 49ers biggest fan, lover, hater that you want to see out there. But Jameson says Ravens are praying that the Steelers don't beat the Buffalo Bills. Ravens are 0-2 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. As that is correct, Jameson, the Pittsburgh Steelers have beaten the Ravens twice this season. They do have the season sweep. But, Hoffy, what is the hardest thing to do in the NFL?
Beat a team 3 times, and I think the Ravens want all that smoke.
Oh, definitely.
I think the Ravens want all of that smoke. Yeah. And I think WB Ant has already said that he wants that get back. I think the Ravens are begging and praying and pleading that they get to face the Steelers. I think I get that it's NFC North division game. Those are always tough games, but the Steelers they don't have a shot in hell of beating the Ravens in Baltimore. Not happening. I will put whatever the hell needs to be put down on that bet.
So Ant says it will definitely be a Chiefs versus Ravens AFC Championship game. Let me ask you this, Hafi. You as a Patriots fan, do you want to see anything besides the Chiefs and the Ravens in the AFC Championship, best versus best, the ultimate AFC Championship game? Because, I mean, do we really want to see, I don't know, the Buffalo Bills taking on the Houston Texans or the Chiefs taking on the Texans in the AFC Championship game? Like, I don't think we want to see that. I think we want to see the Ravens versus Chiefs, right?
Yeah, and I could understand possibly seeing, you know, the Bills in there. I'm more so, I like the Bills of old better as far as what, you know, the last couple years when they were, you know, on the cusp of something special. This year, I think that they feel a little privileged. I'm not a fan of just how Stephon Diggs has really handled himself, and you know, we're not in behind closed doors, but it seems as if he's kind of been a cancer. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Buffalo Bills. You know, I think it would be awesome to see a Cinderella story like the Texans, but I think if the Texans get to the AFC Championship, it's going to be ugly. Or if they get to the Super Bowl, now you're playing a team like, at this point, it's looking like either the San Francisco 49ers or the Lions, and I think that could be, I want to see a solid Super Bowl, and I think in order to see a solid Super Bowl, it's got to be Chiefs, Ravens, or it's got to, you know, and like the 49ers, Lions. I think you need one of those two AFC teams in the Chiefs or the Ravens to have a competitive Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would love to see a Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl so the Chiefs can get revenge on that first loss, and all those Lions fans talking all that shit all weekend. But John says Chiefs better pray both of the other AFC quarterbacks have been outperforming Patrick Mahomes. So I think what you're trying to say, John, is that the Patrick Mahomes has not been playing up to his standards, right? We are used to seeing Patrick Mahomes be a 5,000-yard passer, 40 touchdowns year after year after year. We have become accustomed to that. Now, to say that the other AFC quarterbacks have been outperforming him, yes, Josh Allen has had a great 6-week stretch. Lamar Jackson has had a pretty damn good overall season. But if you want to go stat for stat wise, Patrick Mahomes has better stats than Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes might be neck and neck. I did not look at their passing yards, but Josh Allen does have more rushing yards than Patrick Mahomes. But to say that they've been outperforming him, like, we are talking down to Patrick Mahomes just because we're not used to seeing his 5,000, or like, you know, he didn't get the 5,000 yards this season. We didn't see this. So that's why you guys think that Patrick Mahomes is having such a down year. He just haven't. Go ahead.
He still threw for 262 yards in like negative 30 freaking degrees this Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, what did Tua end up with? I mean, provided that, yes, he's Samoan and he doesn't, you know, perform in weather under 45 degrees, but still, to go out there and throw for 262 yards in that weather, the wind, the cold, I mean, that ball's hard as a rock. You know, nobody wants to be catching that ball.
Rashid Rice does. Give him all that smoke, right? And says the Chiefs have Mahomes, and that defense is the best it's been since Mahomes has been there. Chiefs defense is very, very well right now. And playoff
They
Chris
held the
Jones
number one
year.
offense to 7 points.
Yeah. And that 7 points was that the first drive of the game? Can't remember. It was very early in the game.
It was the first or second one, yeah. And I think it was Hill that got the touchdown.
Yeah. And then Tyreek Hill got slammed down by Jadarius Sneed on the like on the line wins Tyreek Hill for the rest of that game. Caroline says Taylor Swift was a great this week, and she was a whole vibe. Listen, I love me some Tay-Tay.
She looked like she was making a music video. Music video, sitting in that booth with the frost on the windows.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That pretty red lipstick. She was looking good.
Carson says nobody wants that Josh Allen smoke. Correct. Josh Allen is playing at a very elite level right now. Very super or MVP level right now. The downfall for the Buffalo Bills is Stephon Diggs. I've said it many times. I'm sticking to it. Stephon Diggs is going to be the reason why the Bills lose or win in the playoffs, whatever game that they decide to play. Is Ant?
I agree. And, you know, unfortunately, I think in order for the Buffalo Bills to win, Josh Allen has to do Josh Allen things. And I think it's going to be tough for Josh Allen, especially when you got time to game plan, it's going to be tough for Josh Allen to go ahead and put four games together of just unbelievable. Someone's going to find a way to negate his skill set in one of those 4 games. So it's going to be tough for Bills Mafia to go on a run, I think, especially when they've done it the past 7 weeks.
Right.
We saw it with the 49ers. We saw it with the Cowboys. There is always a blip in the road at some point, and there will be one game where Josh Allen is going to have, a crucial turnover or two, or just not do Josh Allen, spectacular things. And I don't think that roster can make up for it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's very hard to win 7, let alone 8, 9, 10 games in a row. So the blimp is coming for sure. Hopefully it's not till next season for Bills Mafia. But Shanna, I know you are new here, so I'm going to tread on this very, very lightly. But Shanna says Taylor Swift is the only reason why the Chiefs are so heavily talked about, and she ends up on camera more than the game. All right, Shanna. Is it Shanna or Shannon? I'm pretty sure it's Shanna because I know it's Shanna from high school. But the Kansas City Chiefs are heavily talked about because they are the reigning Super Bowl champions. They have won 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs are talked about. That's why Chiefs Kingdom is the greatest fan base in America, Shanna. Taylor Swift is just an afterthought. It just happens to be that Taylor Swift is dating the greatest tight end of all time. It just happens to be that Taylor Swift and, using her little credit card to scrape off the ice at the at the stadium. It just happened to be there. Yes, the first week that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce was an item, the CBS or whoever it was did definitely beat that dead horse over and over and over again. But they always scan the crowd. Look at the Detroit Lions game. Eminem was on TV more than Jared Goff was. Like, come on. The Chiefs are them. That's why they're so heavily talked about. Hoffa, you're shaking your head. What don't you agree with?
I do agree that we talk about the Chiefs because, they got a little mini dynasty going on, just as everyone got sick and tired of talking about the Patriots. But last I checked, Taylor Swift was dating Travis Kelce, not Rob Gronkowski. You said the greatest tight end of all time.
I said what I said.
Well, you said wrong then.
I said what I said. John says, I think you're constipated from that jersey. I definitely need to
either that or the cheese head.
I'm not constipated. It's coming. I feel it brewing, baby. Ann says, Hoffy, we want all that smoke, baby. Come on, Steelers. Come on down. Jamin says, Huskers with Dylan Rabolia are on the come up. Who cares about the freaking Huskers? The Huskers are nobody since they left the Big 12. You know why they left the Big 12? Because they didn't want that smoke from the Kansas State University, Jameson.
Oh, Jesus. Now you're just...
Hey. I am undefeated against the Huskers, baby. Lamar Jackson sucks in the playoffs.
Averages, 6 wins a year?
Hey, we finished number 19 this year, baby. Another 10-win season. Put it up. Lamar has new weapons, new offense, and better weapons. Carson Lang says, but if it's not the Ravens versus Chiefs, would it still be the best versus best? I mean, technically, yes. I mean, it will be the best versus best at some point yet.
Unless it's the Steelers.
Unless it's the Steelers. Well, listen, the last time the Steelers won a Super Bowl, they snuck in as a wild card, and then bada bing, bada boom. I believe it was Mike Tomlin's rookie year as a head coach. Come in and won the Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be fitting?
Ben Roethlisberger,
I'm just saying, if you believe in the NFL script writing, Mike Tomlin comes in on a high horse, leads with the silver dallion in his hand, with the bloody trail and a horse riding behind him into the sunset with another Super Bowl.
That ain't happening.
But if it's not the Ravens versus Chiefs, yes, Carson, it will be technically the best versus best at some point. But it's all about matchups at the end of the day, right? mean, obviously, I think the Steelers match up better versus the Ravens than the Texans do, right? But it is what it is. Hoffy, do you like the way the playoffs are? Like how it's the number 1 seed gets to play the last seed, like whether it's this.
Yes.
You like that?
That's why we play the game, and that's that's why I think it would be stupid if they move the Chiefs game to Indianapolis, because if you don't want to play in the fucking cold and you're the Miami Dolphins, don't lose your week 18 game to the Buffalo Bills, and then you can host the home playoff game. But that's why we play the regular season games. Otherwise they mean nothing. So no, I think that the best seed should. The other argument I guess you could make is you allow the top seed to pick who they play, but I think most of the time they would probably pick that lower seed anyway. So yes, I agree with how the playoffs are formatted.
Bring it in baseball into the conversation. I like it. Call out, right? Call out. Be like, hey, I want that.
Holmes would be proud of me.
I saw something I wanted to pull up here. Texans versus 49ers Super Bowl would be something else. That would be something else. D'Amico Ryans, former 49ers defensive coordinator there. That would be great. John says the Houston defense improved big time. Or, hear me out, Joe threw 2 pick sixes. But yeah, the Houston defense is very, very well. Carson, my man. Ema, baby. Every man a Wildcat. That's the greatest saying in football, period. Ema. You got to do the chant, Hoffy.
No.
Oh. Shanna says, I think someone should go take a piss in his Wheaties and pass it to him for wearing that jersey. Listen, I'm wearing the jersey because I lost a bet. Me and my man Wyatt Williams had a bet. So Wyatt Williams started here on the Man Hour with us, 2 years ago. He was a high school kid. He was a junior or a senior at the local high school that I was coaching at, and he's like, hey, I heard you do the Man Hour. Do you mind if I join you? Whatever, yada yada. I'm like, sure. Come on, Wyatt. Me and Wyatt quickly became like this. I am now his Nana's favorite grandchild, so I am a part of the family. So we sent Wyatt off to college to go get a college education because he wanted to basically be a sports podcaster full time. I'm long story short, we sent him down to college. He got his college education, got a full year degree in 2.5 years. Good job for that, man. Way to hammer it out. But now he's
doing big things.
He is somewhere in Wisconsin, like Waukesha, Wisconsin or something, just like that. But he is a news reporter up there in Wisconsin. And so me and him had a bet. I'm like, hey, if the Packers lose, you got to wear a Dallas Cowboys jersey on air. When you interview your next interviewee, you got to wear that Dallas Cowboys jersey on air. Obviously, he has a lot more reach than we do, right? But I thought it would be hilarious. So that's why I'm wearing the Packers jersey. Al Bundy stories now. No, that we can say that for an after show one time. Oh, there's the question I want to ask. This is the last question for the day before we wrap it up to him. Jameson says, what are y'all going to say if the Steelers beat the Bills and the Ravens? We are going to say that Mike Tomlin is the greatest coach of all time.
All time?
All time.
I think he would have to win the Super Bowl to get that kind of credit, but
he's never had a losing season.
I'll take 6 Super Bowls over 2.
Will you take 6 Super Bowls over the next 3 years of getting 2 wins or less?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind living in the past.
Easy, 49ers fan. Ant says, shout out to Wyatt. Yes, huge shout out to Wyatt Williams doing great things. I know it's not Waukesha, but that name is stuck in my head from the old. There's a trial last year that I was very engraved in, where some dude ran through a holiday parade and killed a bunch of PP people. I forget the guy's name, but that's where Waukesha's at. But Carson says, I hate to admit it, but Belichick, Walsh, or Reed are the greatest coaches.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody besides myself spell Bill Belichick's name correct on any of our chats.
How do you spell it? Belichick?
Yeah. Chick.
That's
Not
dumb.
E-C-K. Not E-K. It's chick.
If you would know proper English, you'd know that that's definitely not Belichick. It should be like C-H-E-A-K. Carson says I got it right. Yeah, Carson, you got it right, man. Good job. Hoffy, send us out.
He didn't get Belichick correct. Thank you. There we go. Mr. Jackson's got it right, but
How about
Man,
them
our
Cowboys? Oh, sorry.
fuck them.
How about them Cowboys?